The first helicopters whirled into the sky way back in 1907, but it was a good 30 years before the helicopter was introduced to the battlefield. After World War II, choppers were first used by the military mostly for search and rescue missions or delivering supplies into forward areas. Some also became first-rate troop carriers. By Vietnam, our boys are riding helicopters into battle the way they once rode horses into combat. In 1965, the 1st Cavalry Division turned in their saddles and stirrups for rotor blades and landing skids. From then on, they became known as the 1st Air Cavalry. But in the early days of Vietnam, these birds were pretty much sitting ducks. Unarmed choppers flying into hot LZs were coming under heavy enemy fire, and they needed to protect themselves. It was time to arm up. Ugh. Pretty soon, just about every helicopter in the fleet started sprouting weapons like spikes on a porcupine, from miniguns to rocket launchers. Some genius figured out that guns and helicopters kind of went together, like kick and butt. Big engines and big guns made the Huey tough to beat in Vietnam, but we wanted a dedicated attack helicopter. Soon, the Cobra was coiled and ready to strike. Its speed, maneuverability, and awesome firepower gave our troops a dedicated gunship, made to spit fire. But we also needed something to do the heavy lifting. So the Chinook hits the battlefield with twice the amount of rotors, giving it 8 times the lifting power. Now, we're getting warmed up. Today's modern Army flies warbirds of a different feather. And I've come to Fort Rucker, Alabama to see what the Army flew next. 1979, UH-60 Blackhawk. Range, 368 miles. Speed, 184 miles per hour. Maximum altitude, 18,700 feet. After the Vietnam War, the Army took flight with the Blackhawk. Why? Because they needed a better utility helicopter. Kinda like a Huey, only meaner. Similar to the Huey, the Blackhawk is also a multitasker. She can be a lover 1 minute, ferrying supplies and men to and from battle, and a fighter the next minute, unleashing your own brand of mayhem on the battlefield. The Blackhawk does for the Army what the Huey does for the Marine Corps. It's a personnel carrier, and like today's Hueys, it has some neat tricks up its sleeve, like night operations. This bird turns night into day with advanced sensors and avionics. And that, my friends, opens up a whole new war-fighting schedule. But first, meet Army Warrant Officer Rice.
We have 4 MFDs. Which
MFD.
Multi-function displays. We can put, just like it implies, multiple functions. We can put maps, we can put our engine displays.
Gas gauge.
Gas gauge, which is a very important one.
I would think so.
We have 2 onboard computers, flight management systems, and then...
FMS?
FMS, you got it.
Oh, there we go. Acronyms, right?
Acronyms.
Military's full of acronyms.
If we didn't have acronyms, we couldn't survive.
If you say the real name, I don't know what the heck you're talking about half the time, you know. But the Blackhawk and its acronyms make the enemy pretty doggone acrimonious. If it's not delivering infantry to the enemy's door, it's spitting lead from side guns. This utility helicopter set a new standard and is used by more than 20 countries. But just like Marines had needed the Cobra, the Army needed a new attack helicopter. And boy, did they get one. 1984, AH-64 Apache. Range was 260 miles, speed 192 miles per hour. Maximum altitude 21,000 feet. Introduced 17 years after the Cobra, the Apache took the same ideas and refined them even further. For starters, it got a better weapon system. Armed with a massive 30-millimeter chain gun and Hellfire missiles. When the Apache attacks, the enemy is in for some bad, bad medicine. I'm here with Chief Warrant Officer 3 Johnson. Now, you know, I'm one of those old guys that I've been hanging around the Cobras too much, probably, and I'm pretty sold on that. I think it's a great airframe. Why don't you sell me on this one?
Well, just like the Cobra, we carry some of the same ammunition from the old days, just a little bit modified, like the rockets. It's pretty much the same concept, but now we have different systems, a little bit of an upgraded missile.
So what's this weapon over here?
Right here we have the Hellfire laser-guided missile.
How many can you take, 4?
Up to 4 on one rack. Possibility of having them on all 4 pylons, so you could have up to 16 Hellfire missiles.
So you're really pretty heavily armed, but one thing has really been bothering me, and it makes the aircraft ugly. And if there's any way you could get rid of it, I would recommend it. What's that damn ball up there?
That's what's called the fire control radar. We can carry a type of missile, and that radar can lock on or pick up something like a tank, Russian tank, T-72, anything of that nature.
The longbow version of the Apache can fire a variety of Hellfire missiles called the Lima. Once the Apache's fire control radar identifies a target, it relays its location to the smart anti-tank missile. Then the Hellfire makes its own merry way to the bad guy, and it follows the terrain to avoid detection. Fire and forget. And did I mention it works just as well at night? I can't wait to show you. You don't even have to see it.
No.
You just push the button.
Yep.
And this thing then takes over and takes care of it. Well, that thing's getting more attractive all the time then, isn't it? It's not ugly at all. The Apache is one vicious warrior. There's no doubt about it. When they see this baby coming, the bad guys will circle the wagons and wave the white flag.
Bullet Tower Firebird 26 is checkpoint Nelly bound for a pad on the west side.
Roger, we'll clear your net.
I'm gonna show you what the enemy is in for. The boys at Fort Rucker are going to ruin somebody's sleep tonight. All in the name of educating you lounge lizards. We're about to go on a mission that would be typical of these 2 helicopters. Search and destroy. The Blackhawk will get us into the hot zone, and while we're there, the Apache will cover our butts. Okay, boys, let's go. Let's get her done.
This is Firebird 01. We'll get above 700 feet. We won't go below 700.
Okay, you guys go ahead and land, and we'll call your next hover, okay?
Roger.
These new generation choppers with night capability mean no one can hide. And we can strike while the enemy's snoozing and turn their dreams into nightmares. Blackhawks and Apaches combine the best in utility with murderous firepower. Put them together when the sun goes down, and the Army is not kidding around when they say, we own the night.
Eagle 06 out of that pass look for Firebird 01.
That pass looks good.
Apache pilots are seeing the night in infrared. Sensors pick up heat, and everything gives off heat. It's as good as turning on the lights.
24
The Blackhawk uses image intensifiers. Their sensors detect the faintest image and amplify it up to daylight. Well, green daylight anyway.
You guys are clear to hover up again anytime you're ready.
Now, the Army's looking after me tonight, so they're dropping me down a safe distance from our target. And it is one hell of a front row seat. We have Apaches, we have ordnance, we have night vision gear and a target. Our goal, destroy the enemy. Let's make it happen. Bring down the rain. Firebird 01. Firebird 02. This is the Gunny. You are cleared hot at the predetermined target. Go for it. Bring down the rain. Hoorah.
Firebird 01 is you. Turning inbound.
The Apache uses fire control radar to locate targets invisible to the naked eye.
Tower Firebird 25, Nelly
inbound. What do you got open on the west side?
And eliminate the targets with fire and forget weapons like the Hellfire.
Fire goes right on the target.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. A little firepower involved. Yeah, go get 'em. Yeah! That was nice, wasn't it? That was fantastic. Thing of beauty. Almost like the 4th of July. Hurrah! Go get 'em, boy. It's an attack capability that the Huey and Cobra helicopters just did not have back in the 60s. These guys are good at what they do. Almost as good at what they do as I am at what I do. Hurrah! Cheering them on. Yes, indeed. Yeah! The Blackhawk and the Apache, a dynamic duo tricked up with technology to acquire and destroy any foe. They don't always work together, but when they do, it's a dance of destruction.